Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog.stampwithelaine.com. For today's project, I'm revisiting this cute little stamp set. It's from the annual catalogue, and there is a 1 3/8 inch scallop punch, and I'm also using the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. We also need the detailed trio punch because I need the corner rounder on here. This is the project we're making. It's a little card with using the narrow cards and envelopes with a little box to match. It'll make a great teacher's gift, or even for friends or your children's friends. And it's big enough to hold one of these little chocolate Easter eggs with a belly band to wrap round it. I'm using the Tropical 6x6 Designer Series pack. There are 12 double-sided designs, 4 of each design. That's the reverse. I've chosen to use this one. Box base, I'm going to be using Blushing Bride. Out of an A4 sheet in Europe, this measures 8 1/4 inches by 11 3/4 inches. In metric, that's 21 centimeters by 29.8 centimeters. Long side at the top, and you just align it at the 5-inch mark. You can get 2 boxes. Out of an A4 sheet. And now you want to keep that one because that's just big enough for you to punch out your scallop circles. Some scraps with which to cut out a 1/2 inch by 8 1/4 inch for the belly band, so that will be 1.3 centimeters by 21 centimeters. Some whisper white scrap to stamp your images on. Some narrow note cards and envelopes. There are 20 in a pack. I did make a matching envelope for this card using the Designer Series paper. A scoring tool, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, Blushing Bride ink, the Blushing Bride marker because there isn't a Blushing Bride stamping blend yet, Petal Pink Light and Smoky Slate Light, and rhinestones. First I'm going to cut my DSP and decide which way up I want the paper to be. And I'll cut it at 1 7/8. Rotate it and cut that at 2 7/8. And then another one at 1 7/8. In metric, that will be 4.8 by 4.8 centimeters, and this larger piece is 4.8 centimeters by 7.3 centimeters. We want to round off the corner on this piece here, and that's for the box back and front, which is in one piece, and then set that aside. Need to cut one for the card, 2 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. In metric, that will be 5.7 by 10.8 centimeters. And then you've got some left over to decorate the envelope with. Let's bring back the scoreboard. Score on the short side first at 2 inches and 4 inches. In metric, that's 5 centimeters and 10.2 centimeters. Rotate your cardstock anti-clockwise so that the narrow score line is at the top. Partially score at 1 inch down to that first score line, all the way down at 2 inches, all the way down at 4 inches. At the 5-inch mark, you only score partially down to the first score line, then 6 inches all the way down, and 8 inches all the way down. In centimeters, you score at the 2.5 centimeter mark up until that first score line. You score at 5 centimeters all the way down, 0.2 centimeters all the way down, And then the 12.7 centimetre marks, you only partially score to that first score line at 15.2 centimetres all the way down, and at 20.3 centimetres all the way down. So there are two little rectangles here, and we don't want that or that, so we'll cut that away. Slightly angle that and cut that away as well. Next, I'm going to cut these vertical score lines on the larger flap at the bottom, which is facing you, up until that first score line. I'm going to mark these points so that you can see it. And bring back my scoreboard. Where I've made a mark on there, line it up with the 6-inch score line on my scoreboard and put my stylus. Vertical score line meets with the horizontal score line at the 1-inch mark or 2.5 centimetre mark. Now I'm going to fold that flap back and rotate my cardstock so that point at the bottom meets with the 6-inch score line on the scoreboard. Okay, place my stylus there again and then rotate the cardstock and then score to the opposite corner. And I do the same for this section at the 5-inch score line, 12.7 centimetre score line, and fold that back so I know where to score it to, and score that. Then rotate the cardstock again, make sure it's lined up. And then score. So now on the first panel and the third panel I've got two triangular score lines. Now we need to do more cutting. Now with the flap on the right, and you want to cut away where there are more score lines at the top. So I'm going to cut all that away. So essentially it's 3 panels, 1, 2, 3. You don't need that. And the end panel, where nearest the flap, the joining flap, is actually going to be the front of your lid. Bring back the detailed punch. I need to corner round that. That didn't go in quite, did it? So my paper was crooked. So if I fold that back, then it should be better. So fold that in, offer it up right into the corner and punch. I've got my silicone mat and I'm just going to run some double-sided tape onto that. I know it's called tear and tape, but I prefer a neater finish, so I always cut mine. Burnish my lines, fold those out. You've got the flap on the joining tab on the left, and you want to fold those in a valley fold and these in a mountain fold. Okay, and that in a mountain fold. Just to check which is the front of your box, pop it up like that, and then you know where the flap folds over, that's the front of your box. So it's this one here. Fold that up, okay, have the flap on your left, and then put double-sided tape on if you're using that, or you can use glue, but I don't like gluing things halfway up in the air, so I prefer to have double-sided tape, and then I can cut through that, and I know I need some on that one. which is the front of your box, so it's here. So let's put some adhesive on that, and it goes on there. And I'll also glue this one to the front and the flap, so pop that down there. Get my bone folder and make sure the creases are good. Now we'll need to punch out our scallop circles. Try and be economical, because you need actually 3 for each box, because you've got the matching card, and I'm hoping I'll be able to get 6 out of this sheet. Now we're ready to assemble, so let's join that up first, and then fold back the overhanging double-sided tape and join that together. Oh, silly me, of course you can. Fold that together, pinch the sides in like so. This is your last one to go down, so fold that up, and you want the 2 side panels first, so remove the backing strips from that and fold that down. Remove the backing strip from this one and then pop that on top, and then lastly the front panel down. Next I'm going to do a bit of stamping. I'm going to stamp my little bunny rabbit. He's so cute. And another one sufficiently far apart, because that's for the card. One for the box and one for the card. Bring back my trusty silicone mat so I don't get ink all over, and I'm just going to colour the ears in grey and a bit of his face. Unfortunately there isn't a stamping blend in the Blushing Bride, so I'm just going to use the Blushing Bride marker on this. Then I'm going to switch to Petal Pink just to colour his ears in. The reason I'm doing it this way is so I can centre my image. Now this is the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. Punch him out. Bring in my Blushing Bride ink, and I'm going to stamp that in pink, and then hold that over the stamp. Oh, that one's a little bit crooked. That's better. I might go away and do that again. Time to put the belly band on, so I'm just going to hold that down and wrap the belly band round the box. And I don't want it too tight, but it will go virtually all the way round. Pinch it to reinforce the fold lines. So you want the longer bit around the front to go back, and then this is the shorter bit, so I'm just going to wing it. Where's my adhesive? That's the shorter bit, so I'm going to run some adhesive along there. That's the front of the box, so I want to be very careful about getting that all aligned. That's it. Now I need Tombow glue and cover the back of one of these cards. Take the belly band off, and I want to position it so that it's in the center. Like so. Make sure there's enough adhesive. And then sandwich the belly band in between these two scallop circles. And the reason I do that is so that there isn't any sharp edges that's going to foul on the belly band when you try and take it on and off. Okay, so now that's ready to go back on. And we can pop our rabbit up on dimensionals. Probably just the one would have been enough. Then pop that on top. To finish, I'll just use a little rhinestone to pop on there. Okay. Now we can quickly do the card. So that will go on the front. Scrap of Blushing Bride, 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inches. In metric, that's 5.7 centimeters by 1.3 centimeters. Pop this up on a dimensional. There I was, merrily talking to myself. I forgot to press record. What I did was I applied glue onto the flap of the envelope, glued it down, and then just turned it round and trimmed round the envelope flap. So that's how you decorate the envelope, and there is the little set all done. Might help if I put the chocolate in. Can't give away something with just an empty box, can you? There we go. Oh, I forgot to put a little jewel, rhinestone onto the card. So that's the last thing to do. Which do you prefer, the one in the Granny Apple Green or the Blushing Bride? Anyway, those papers are absolutely gorgeous, and they've got forgotten because of the Spring Summer catalogue, but there are little gems in the annual catalogue too. So thanks for joining me today, and pop back for more inspiration. Please subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future episodes. Really grateful if you help to support me by purchasing through my online store. Thanks for watching. Bye.